The film I am going to analyse is Limitless, which is directed by Neil Berger, 2011. In my analysis I will give a short synopsis, cover some elements of the narrative structure of the film, narrative plot and temporal duration. Film form, I will delve into some aspects of cinematography, editing, colour and sound. According to imdb.com, the film genre is mystery, sci-fi, thriller. I believe mystery because the film evokes a thought of mystery. How, why, and there is a secretive aspect of the film. The mystery of who are the few people that already have had access to this wonder drug, and how have they been affected by it. It also covers aspects of crime as there is murder involved. Suspense, twists and a resolution are all covered in the performance and storyline of the film. Sci-fi because Eddie, who is a protagonist, has stumbled upon a new discovery, which is a drug called NZT that very few know about, and he is often seen as the underdog. This NZT doesn't really exist. Thriller because when Eddie first takes a drug out of curiosity, he is unwittingly getting mixed up in a very dangerous and threatening situation. He is chased, has his life threatened by thugs, and faces deadly side effects from the NZT as well. The movie invokes a sense of suspense, anxiety, anticipation, and uncertainty. Synopsis. An author down on his luck obtains an unknown drug, which gives him the ability to tap into the full potential of his brain. This drug helps him finish his book and work his way up the corporate world, only to find that others are out to take control of this drug. Narrative plot. An author named Eddie Moorer, played by Bradley Cooper, is down on his luck and has scored a book deal. He is having a hard time putting words to paper. Unlucky in love, Eddie gets dumped by his girlfriend as well. He bumps into an old friend who gives him a new drug called NZT. After taking the drug, Eddie is able to finish his book in 4 days. He finds the friend dead in an apartment. Eddie finds a stash of the pills and takes them home in the hope of turning his life around to be more successful. Eddie borrows some money from some dodgy lender and uses the money to make millions in a short period of time. This success at Wall Street catches the attention of Carl Van Loon, played by Robert De Niro, who invites Eddie to broker a major corporate merger. A problem arises with the guy he borrowed money from because he wants total control of the pills and will stop at nothing to track Eddie and the pills down. Later, Carl Van Loon also wants the power over the drugs. Eddie outsmarts Carl Van Loon. In the end, Eddie gets the girl. Temporal duration. The screen duration, which is the length of the movie that we sit and watch on the screen, goes for approximately 1 hour and 40 minutes. Yet the plot duration, the duration that is portrayed in the film, is at least 14 months, maybe more. We hear in one scene that 2 months had passed.
2 months after I'd started NZT, I was brokering the biggest merger in corporate history.
And then near the end of the movie, text appears on a black background which states that a further 12 months has passed from a previous scene. The time we see and watch the movie is edited in a non-linear timeline. We see the opening scene where Eddie is perched on top of a high-rise building, which is pretty much where the climax of the movie is taking place.
Obviously, I miscalculated a few things. Why is it that the moment your life exceeds your wildest dreams, the knife appears at your back? I will never let them touch me.
We then have a long flashback that tells the story and fills the moviegoer in on what has happened and helps to understand why Eddie is standing on the ledge of a high-rise building in this suicidal position. This then brings us back to where we see Eddie perched on top of the high-rise building once again, which is at 1 hour and 20 minute mark of the 1 hour 40 minute film.
And so, here I am.
Film form, cinematography, fractal zooms. There are 4 scenes in the movie that use fractal zooms, also known as infinite zooms, and it is used to engage the viewer and help them understand the difference in the realm of reality and the loss of time and space that Eddie is experiencing when the effect of the drug is taking over. These fractal zooms also gives the viewer a sense of how Eddie would be experiencing some hyperreal feelings and visions of unstoppable success. Lighting and colour. The use of colour has been utilised throughout the movie, and it is used in a way to give a different mood and feeling to the various scenes. When Eddie is his normal, not so bright self, you can see a desaturated blue colour scheme. Blue is on the cool scale of the colour wheel and can be used to induce a feeling of being in a cold place, not so nice place, signifying how low he feels and how there is no excitement in his life. This life is dull and plain. We then can see when Eddie is under the effects of the drug NZT, everything brightens up with a yellow and orange tint, signifying how clear life seems. Life seems much happier, with a warmness to the surroundings and how he feels.
I was blind, but now I see. What was this drug? I couldn't stay messy on it. I hadn't had a cigarette in 6 hours, hadn't eaten. So, abstemious and tidy? What was this? A drug for people who wanted to be more anal retentive? I wasn't high, wasn't wired, just clear. I knew what I needed to do and how to do it.
There is a scene in a subway when Eddie is feeling some bad side effects to the drug, and he is in a state of sickness. The colour has more of a green tint to it. You may notice that if you mix blue and yellow you get green. He is neither in full effect of the drug or fully off the effects of the drug. According to colourwheelartist.com, green can also signify sickness, deterioration and rotting. Editing. In Eddie's apartment, where he is under the effects of the drug, there is CGI that is incorporated into the scene, which juxtaposes Eddie with words falling from the ceiling, as he is finding that words are literally falling onto the pages, whereas before he couldn't come up with any words.
You're kidding.
Oh.
Words have appeared on paper.
Yes.
Another scene, Eddie is walking down the street, and as we, the viewer, see him, he is clear and in focus. Then we have a point of view of Eddie looking down the street as he is walking. Everything has been distorted, which emphasises the fact that Eddie now has a distorted view of reality. The scene where Eddie is with Van Loon, he sees the girl he was with the night before had been murdered, and he is faced with being a suspect in a murder case. He isn't on the pill and is falling apart with no smart answers for Van Loon. He rushes outside and the view is upside down when Eddie pukes. This gives the effect and signifies that Eddie's world could be turned upside down. Sound. Throughout the movie, the soundtrack changes in rhythm and intensity to manipulate our emotions. It also helps add depth to the scene so that when no or not much dialogue is being spoken, we get a sense of how the actors are feeling. When Eddie is in Vernon's apartment and he is sitting on the lounge next to Vernon's dead body, he is in deep thought of where the pills may be hidden, and there is no music. Eddie is in deep thought. Then when it dawns on him the pills might be in the oven, the music suddenly changes to an intense, fast-paced rhythm. Then when Eddie finds the pills, the music changes to a religious type of music, signifying that Eddie has found the Holy Grail. The end. My time is up.